2022 hits and I have the reader urge to get rid of every book on my bookshelf. Today we're gonna pop, lock, and drop some books. We're doing a book unhaul. Getting rid of books. Bye books. See you later books. See you later. Truth be told, I don't really even need to do an unhaul right now because your boy has an immense amount of shelf space at the moment. Who am I? Who is he? He is not who I thought he was. You see that space and that space? Typically I just have stacks on stacks on stacks everywhere, but I've been dropping books like how I drop my booty in the club. But since we're entering a new year, I want to go into 2022 without books that I don't like plaguing my bookshelves. We're giving my bookshelf a spa day. We're massaging out all the book knots that are holding it back from reaching its full potential. But before we get to it, today's video has a sponsor. Today's video is being sponsored by pangobooks. If you don't know anything about pangobooks, let me fill you in. It's an app designed for people to both sell and buy books. So basically an app created specifically for us readers. Did somebody say an app for buying books? Downloading immediately. You can easily snap a photo of a book, scan its barcode, and create a listing in a matter of seconds. And you can just as easily search up a book, add it to your cart, and buy it in a matter of seconds. We love a speedy book sale. Are you getting rid of books going into 2022? Are you trying to condense your book collection, or just trying to start things off fresh in the new year? pangobooks is the place where you can take those books to sell books for profit and then turn right back around and buy more books. Because let's be real, I know that's what y'all are doing when you sell your books and get that cash money. You're turning around and book shopping. It's the cycle of life of being a book owner. pangobooks is a great way to find quality used books being sold by other readers at a reasonable price. If any of you have ever dreamed of owning your own bookshop one day, this can be a start. Just pretend you're a bookseller and get to sell it. pangobooks also gives you the opportunity to follow other book lovers' shops. That way you can keep up to date on all the new books that are coming into their shops. The app is available on iOS and Android, and of course pangobooks was nice enough to hook you up with a code. In case any of you are looking to do some book shopping, you can use the code Jesse5 and that will get you a $5 credit. The code can only be used on the app, so get on that app store, download it, and use the code Jesse5 to get $5 off. Thanks again to pangobooks for sponsoring today's video. And now, without further ado, let's get to dropping books. Drip drop. The first one I'm getting rid of. The Beauty That Remains. The Booty That Remains. The booty rockin' everywhere. This was quite literally one of the most disappointing books I've read in 2021. I was severely let down by it, and now I'm gonna let it down by yeeting it out of my collection. The story follows 3 different characters, 3 different POVs, 3 different humans who are all grieving loved ones. And music could just be the thing that brings them all together. This book was set up to be a favorite for me. Death is a buzzword for me. Call me morbid, but I love books about death. When I see a book about death, I start buzzing. I want to devour that book and see that author's take on death. Now listen, I saw the effort. The effort was there. There was a lot of effort put into this book, and that effort does not go unnoticed. Effort. You know? So I give you an E for effort. I'm pretty sure I just lost brain cells trying to explain that. I felt like this book was convoluted in a lot of ways. I felt that it really should have just been honed in on one voice, one character, one POV, and I really feel like it would have been easy to kind of do that, especially because one of my biggest critiques is that I felt like the voices of the characters were not that distinct. There was also just something in here that made me very uncomfortable, like very. And to me it was like, red flag, out the bag, you're a drag, cutting you off like a price tag. Bye. Next, Unearthed and Undying. This duology is about an alien planet that gets discovered, and we follow a scholar who is looking to study it and a scavenger who is looking to raid it. The 2 very different characters end up having to team up together because there's a potential for the human race to come to an end if they don't end up working together. I'm kind of breaking my own rules with this one because I kind of feel like I never really gave it a full chance, but in my defense, yeah, I don't have a defense. I was waiting for my defense to come walking through that door, but it betrayed me. Maybe I'll regret this part of the unhaul. Maybe one of y'all will write a 700-page essay on why I need to read these books down below in the comments, and I will instantly regret having unhauled these books. But what I read on the first book didn't really leave me hungry for more. It left me craving to switch books, and you know what I did? I gave into that craving and switched books. I'm a serial book switcher, let it be known. If you're not doing it for me, I'll switch up on you real fast. But typically when I switch up on books, I at least come back to the books that I switched up on. These, I'm letting go. Petition for it to be okay for a book just to not work for you, and that being a good enough reason to get rid of it. Next, Phantom Limbs. This story follows Otis, who lost his younger brother in a tragic accident, and we follow Otis years later as he's training his best friend to become an Olympic swimmer, and is reunited with his first love and childhood friend. This one has been on the chopping block for a while now. It's survived many a book unhaul, but time's up. Tick-tock on the click clock. This had several things in it that bothered me. The main one was how possessive this boy character was about the girl character that comes back into his life. She is fully in a relationship, like committed, has a boyfriend, and this boy over here does not understand boundaries. Worse than that, boy thinks he owns her. Just because you got history does not mean you own her. Does not mean she's the same person. It doesn't mean anything. It was just uncomfortable and irritating, and I honestly wanted to take a book, hop in the book, and whack him upside the head with the book to knock some sense into him, and then hop out of the book and keep reading and see if any anything changed. Alas, the book gods have not yet blessed me with the power yet. Also, the side character, the girl that he's training to be the swimmer, the Olympic swimmer, she is so much more interesting than our main character. Like, would have loved LOVED to follow that character, but no. She should have been the main character, and that's a hill that I'm willing to die on. That just exploded into a full-on rant. Next, My True Love Gave to Me. This is 12 different short stories with the theme of holiday from 12 different authors. I've isolated myself from this book for a while now, and I've realized in that time of isolation that we need to be fully separated. We don't have a connection. We've never really had a connection. And every time I see this book, I just remember how underwhelmed I was by it. I see it and feel nothing. If anything, I feel numb. I think there were like 2 or 3 stories that I liked, and the rest were just forgettable. Oof, the sting, the burn, but points were made, and that's all I'm gonna say. Next, We Are Okay. We are not okay. Not at all. No. This book follows a girl who is dealing with grief, loneliness, and insecurities in terms of her relationships. I get recommended this book a lot, and I see the appeal. I get it. I get why people love it, but I always feel bad, and I have to hold myself back from being like, I can't stand that book. I really didn't like it. I just can't help remembering how disappointed I was by this book. Felt like, to me anyway, and I know that this is kind of an unpopular opinion, I feel like when it comes to this book, but I felt like it was a conversation starter without the conclusion. And not to say that this book doesn't have a conclusion, because I'm pretty sure it does. I mean, it's been years since I've read it, but I remember it like coming together nicely, I think, if I remember correctly. Maybe not. Maybe it was more open-ended. But I just remember feeling empty by the end of it and feeling like we had only touched the surface with the conversations that were brought up. It's like that empty feeling when you get ghosted by someone. There was just like a lack of closure. And to some people that might be a vibe. That might be fine. But for me personally, it's not the vibe. Vibe Pass has not checked. I also do not know if this will make any sense to anybody, but to me this book was incredibly dry. I wanted a few raindrops, but all I got was a drought. Next, The Ones We're Meant to Find. This story weaves together 2 different stories. First, we follow C, who is trapped on an abandoned island and can't really recall anything from her past life except for the fact that she has a sister. Then we follow Casey, who is a STEM prodigy and is beginning to question everything within her life. I tried to convince myself that I liked this book. I was really like, yes, this is unique and interesting. I love it. Even though I only liked one of the perspectives. Even though the things that are happening are confusing. Even though I felt lost a majority of the book. I feel like I've been fighting a battle after having read this book. Like, do I like it? Do I hate it? Do I like it? Do I hate it? Do I like it? Do I hate it? I don't know. It was trying to win me over and be a winner chicken dinner, but it lost me and was a loser book bruiser. Finally, Bridge of Clay. Now I had my qualms about this book going into it, and I should have listened to my qualms. Sometimes you can't trust them qualms, but this was the time that I should have listened to this. This book is about a family of brothers who kind of have to fend for themselves at a young age. And being young and automatically thrust into the world of adulthood can be a lot. When they begin digging into a family secret, it unfolds an array of drama. I think when you love a book by an author so much, you just expect every book that they release ever to be amazing, to be golden, but this book was rusty. There were aspects that I liked, but I mostly was just completely disappointed by it. It felt like to me a book that was like deliberately trying to be unique, but that caused it to lose me. If I can pick up on something trying so hard to be unique instead of just like flowing out naturally, then it's a no. Like, I need it to be natural. I need it to make sense for the story, but if it's just like deliberate, I can tell, and it messes up everything. In and of itself, it's a book that's not very plot-based, which I normally don't mind. Like, I really love books that are like really focused in on the characters, but the plot that we did have felt like it was just being dragged out to the point where we're just like, okay, buddy, reel it on in now, bring it home, yeehaw, let's yeehaw on out of here. You brought the cowboy out in me. This book could have been the start of my villain origin story, but don't you worry, I snapped myself back to reality before it did. When you come out of a book immediately wanting to read something else to cleanse the palate, that's a sign of a book that stank. Stanky book. That's it for the book Unhaul. How many did I get rid of? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. Not too shabby. My toxic trait is getting rid of books and immediately wanting to buy more. Like, let's not give my bookshelf any time to breathe. Nope. Let's just buy. You guys should let me know down below in the comments if you have gotten rid of any books recently and what those books are. Or just let me know down below in the comments how you go about getting rid of books. Like, how do you make the decision that you are going to get rid of a book? Because I know it's kind of a hard decision to make. For me, it's just like, I don't like it, it's gotta go. I haven't always been that way though, because I used to be like, I must keep every book that I read ever. But that's something that I'm working on. Just because I read it does not mean I need to keep it. Again, thank you to pangobooks for sponsoring today's video, and you can use the code Jesse5 for a $5 credit on the app. Now it's time for me to reorganize my bookshelf, and that is not something that I am looking forward to. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye.